And we're live. What's going on, Dean?
Hello. Happy Friday.
It's Brady here and Dean with the Pacific Sports Talk Radio. I feel like we don't introduce our names that often, so I might as well make it a thing.
That's Brady. This is Dean. Pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out on this Jersey Friday.
Yep.
All right, Dean, let's get into it, man. You want to talk about the Padres-Dodgers matchup that's going on tonight, the first time the teams have played since they were in the playoffs?
Yeah, so the big slugging match, right? This is, at the end of the year, this is going to be like, I don't expect the AL team to win the World Series. It's going to be one of these two teams. You know?
Yep.
The Dodgers are 11-2, best record in the league. Padres are 9-5. I believe they're the fourth or fifth best record. Walker Buehler versus Ryan Weathers. Ryan Weathers, we were talking about this, a second ago. He's 21 years old, and in his first start ever for the Padres, his last start, he won and he had 7 strikeouts, and he only gave up 2 runs, I believe. So, Walker Buehler's a stud. It's crazy how much of a luxury at the end of your rotation to have Walker Buehler. Like, that just tells you everything you need to know about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But I'm stoked. I'm going to be watching this. I mean, I'm going to watch every one of these games because it's the 2 best teams in the league.
Yeah.
They just are. So, what do you think?
Yeah, man. I know Fernando Tatis just got activated from his 10-day DL or IL.
Oh, nice.
So that's big news for the Padres. I'm just stoked for the matchup. Buehler's going to be bringing some heat, as per usual. The other guy on the Padres, Weathers. Thank you. Yeah, he's got a tough task to take. He's kind of getting thrown in the deep end here with his second start in the bigs. But if he's anything of what he was able to do last week, I think there's a good chance the Padres can steal one, game 1.
Is this a 3 or a 4 gamer?
It's a 3 game.
Okay. And where is it?
It's in San Diego.
Oh, I bet it's going to be beautiful there tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Okay, yeah, so just to talk about Weathers, I found it. So in 2018, he was the 7th overall pick.
Oh, wow.
And he got drafted out of high school. This guy's going to be a monster. This guy didn't even go to college.
Wow.
And he went 1-0 in his first start.
It's pretty remarkable.
Insane.
Not going to lie.
I don't get, were the Padres that bad in 2018? 2017?
They had some tough years, man.
God, man. Talk about getting a bunch of riches. God. Anyways.
They've been bad for a while, actually. They haven't had a good team since 2010.
Yeah, it's just crazy how kind of Tatis he brought in all of those free agents, basically. They're like, oh, they look like fun to play for. They're in freaking San Diego. It's on the same latitude as Hawaii. It's beautiful down there. 75 degrees almost all year round. I mean, what more could you want? I don't know, man. This guy looks good, Ryan Weathers. I think I'm on your page. I think they'll take it. Yeah. Especially, they'll be fired up with Tatis back. Their leader, basically face of the MLB, man. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, and MLB The Show is officially released today. If you're on the Xbox, you can get that with Game Pass. I don't know how it works for PlayStation. But, yeah, it's finally being released on both platforms, so that's pretty big news.
I think PlayStation, they're doing the disc, like usual.
Yeah. Dodgers had an exceptional win last night to beat the Rockies on a 3-run shot by Muncy that was the go-ahead runs in the 7th inning. So pretty. They're feeling pretty good after that win. They swept the Rockies. They're going into San Diego with some swagger. So it's going to be up to how well Tatis can play with his shoulder situation, and if Weathers can keep it going against that stacked Dodgers lineup.
Yeah, man, the Rockies aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be. They actually, I'm shocked that they let Nolan Arenado get away.
Well, They just lost about 6 in a row after getting swept by the Giants and the Dodgers.
But they're in every game.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, like they're like they definitely have a lot of talent on that squad. Is what I'm trying to say. Like
No, definitely.
Their offense is still great. You know, it's their pitching. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about all I have to say for that. I mean, this is the series everyone is looking forward to. So, yeah, that's about it. I'm very curious how this 21-year-old pitcher for the Padres stacks up against this Dodgers lineup.
Yeah, this is gonna.
You are right about the deep end point.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch, and definitely the series of the weekend, if I had to say.
Oh yeah, by far.
Yeah, not really too much else to say. But let's dive into Dodgers Padres because that is by far the best series. It's also West Coast.
We just talked about. What do you mean?
I'm saying for tomorrow and the next game.
Oh, okay, the whole thing. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the ace battle, right? Bauer.
No, that's Sunday, and that's gonna be that's gonna be 80 degrees on Sunday.
Oh wow.
It's 70 degrees right now, and 70 tomorrow. It goes up 10 degrees. Tomorrow it's Kershaw and Darvish.
Ooh. Yeah. Both guys have been giving up a good amount of home runs.
So do you like the over in that game?
Yeah, I'd take the over. Yeah. Darvish, man, his last two outings, or I didn't see his last outing. Before that, he gave up 3 home runs and 2 home runs. He's still, I was shocked. So he's like 34 or 35. I was shocked at the velocity that he still has, though. He's still throwing 96, you know.
Kershaw?
No, Darvish.
Darvish. Yeah. Kershaw's throwing low 90s.
No, I know Darvish.
I know. I was surprised. Sorry.
I mean, Darvish is close. They're around the same age, though, and Darvish still has a lot of velocity, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But I've seen him when he misses his spot with the fastball, man. It's, the harder you throw, the quicker it's going to go out of the park. I saw he definitely missed some locations with his fastball to give up those home runs to the Diamondbacks, and then I forgot the last time he went out. But I don't know. I haven't liked what I've seen from Darvish, but I don't know. I'd probably take the Dodgers tomorrow, to be honest. Yeah.
All right. So you think the Dodgers are going to win Game 2? I kind of agree there. I think they're going to see some home runs fly. I know there's going to be a game out of so Kershaw, Darvish, and then Blake Snell and Bauer. Those are like all solid starting pitchers, right?
Some of the best in the league.
Yeah, but I feel like there's going to be one of those 2 games that's just going to be a shootout, I think.
I think that might be tomorrow.
You think that's tomorrow, and then
I think that's going to be tomorrow. Or it's going to be like, one of those times where we talk up a pitching matchup, like Sunday, it's 2 of the best pitchers in baseball. 2 of the, what would you say, top 10? They're both top 10, right?
Yeah.
And maybe, they give up home runs, like I don't expect them to give up a bunch of hits, but, great pitchers still give up home runs. So,
yeah. I think it's going to be one for the books.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
Sunday's matchup was, so 1-1. So today we think the Padres are going to take it. Tomorrow the Dodgers. We're in agreement there. What do you think of the big, the the key matchup Sunday.
Dude, I kind of want to. I think Blake Snell is gonna tear up that Dodgers lineup, man. I feel like he's got some. I mean, it's the first time
Redemption, little revenge.
first time he's played him since Game 6 in the World Series, right? So he's seen him since then.
God, the last time they were in the same sentence, I remember they interviewed Mookie after that game, and he's like, "Man, thank God they took that guy out."
Yeah.
Like Mookie's like, "Man, we're lucky that they took him out." I love how honest he was, though. He was like, he wasn't even like trying to run from it. He's like, "Yeah, they shouldn't have taken him out." Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I could see Snell, having more of an edge, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, do you want to talk?
Who do you think is going to win that?
I like the Padres.
Well, you think the Padres are going to win Series 1?
I think they'll take 2 or 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
And maybe, who knows, maybe the Giants can sneak in for that first place spot. They play the Marlins later today. What are your thoughts on that matchup in the series down there in Florida?
Well, I've only watched one game the Marlins have played, and that was against the Mets, and DeGrom was pitching. And the Marlins, granted, DeGrom was pitching, but the Marlins' offense wasn't like that great. But man, they have like 4 starters that are like, they have one of the highest, I think, one of the lowest, starting ERAs in the league right now. Like, their starters, man, they throw some gas. They were throwing 98. So I think with how the Giants have been pitching and with how the Marlins have been pitching, I think they're going to be low-scoring games.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, the way hitting the under on those would be a unwise opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see it.
I don't know. Yeah. I think the Giants. I don't know. I'm curious, right? Like, I don't really know where the Giants are right now as a team. They just had a good stretch, but like, anything can happen. It's baseball. I kind of want to see where they are in like 10 games from now to get a better idea.
Yeah, the only thing that sketches me out with the Giants is that, we talked about it a couple of days ago. This doesn't take in their last couple games into account, but they're like, the run differential was like 4 or 5 runs. Like, they scored, I think, 41, and they had given up 36 runs.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a recipe for continued success. I want to see that difference get bigger. That's a little sketch,
But what's impressive is they've been able to win these games. They're 8-4, right? If they had maybe 10 or 12 more runs on that differential, who knows what their record would be?
No, I know, but they're kind of playing with fire. You win these because in the past 5 years, the Giants would lose all of these games, these close games, last 5 years, right? And they're finally winning it, but it still makes me a little uncomfortable. I'd rather see some more offense.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting to bring up that stat, because in 2010, the Giants' theme of that season was torture, right?
Oh yeah.
They were winning a lot of close games. Their run differential was 132 that year, so I'm not really seeing any interesting stats as I thought I would.
They had a lot of games at the end of the season go to extra innings. I think that's why they did that.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the run differential.
Yeah. No, it's just I'm just curious. Last year Dodgers were plus 171 on run differential.
That's crazy.
And what's nuts is the second best team was San Diego, and they were 73.
100.
100.
100 runs.
to the next best team.
That's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
I think I don't think the Dodgers offense is that good, but I still think they're
2019, the Dodgers and Houston were tied for, or Houston had 279, Dodgers had 274.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was
Man, Houston.
that was during trash can time though.
Yeah.
That's when half of their games were played at what is it, Minute Maid Park or whatever the hell it's called. Bashing on some trash cans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, anyways, I'm getting carried away there. Just interesting.
I know.
Interesting to talk about those stats.
No, 100, man, 100. That's crazy. Just to have 100 more. God, that's nuts. Yeah.
This
is going to be a great series. Stoked.
Hey, I just wanted to really get into something I just noticed is we're both repping some Sarah alumni.
Oh yeah, Tom and Barry. They play a lot of golf together.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, good times.
Well, a couple of goats there, aren't they?
Yes, indeed, sir. Yes.
All right. Well, hey, let's get off of hardball and go talk about some of the NFL draft news recently. Shanahan was shown smiling quite a bit while he was discussing with Justin Fields after his second pro day. Do you take anything into consideration after that exchange, or do you feel like there's...
I thought that was genius of Ohio State. Ohio State totally intentionally waited for that to happen and to spread that around. Because you know what? Middlecoff and Haberman were making a great point. All of the quarterbacks probably want to get drafted by the Niners because they have the best chance to succeed. All of their agents want them to go there because with Kyle, there's a high possibility that their second contract, they're gonna succeed and then get paid. You know, like the Jaguars. Granted, Urban Meyer hasn't had success in the NFL. Okay, the Jaguars, they lost a lot of guys. They got rid of a lot of their core. They don't have who's the guy that's like 6'9"? Calais Campbell. He's on the Ravens. They lost Ramsey to the Rams. Like they don't have the same squad. And then the Jets, I like Saleh. I like LaFleur's little brother, but their GM still has a lot. I mean, their owner still has a lot of say, in how their team runs. He's been known to interfere, right?
Yeah.
And the Falcons are a freaking mess. So at 4, and the Bengals don't need a quarterback. So if I was that squad, Ohio State pushing that narrative, I do. It did work because did you see in Vegas the odds? Justin Fields is now favored after Wednesday.
Yeah.
He's the favorite. God, it's crazy how that just switches like that.
I know.
So I think it's going to be Justin Fields. I'd be super shocked. I don't think it's going to be Mac. I think there's like a 5% chance that it's going to be Mac in my eyes.
Hey, I didn't know Mac had a DUI.
Were you listening to Coward? Yeah. I didn't know that either, man. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Colin Coward did a pretty good job. I think he had this analogy where he was basically describing how NFL quarterbacks, and getting drafted into the NFL, it's the only like professional situation where when you're drafted and you're put into an organization, that's the best situation you're going to be in for the most part in your entire career. So a lot of the times when you're drafted as a quarterback, you have all the players around you, and then once you start getting paid, teams can't afford to put people around you. Unless you're Tom Brady or your last name's Peyton Manning, or not Peyton Manning, Manning. No one else has won a Super Bowl except Aaron Rodgers on his beginning contract and Drew Brees, who had to restructure his contract to win. So he brought it up. It was kind of like if you we're getting if you're getting your driver's license and they say, okay, here's a Lamborghini.
What, the insurance? Is that what you're?
No, it's just like
The amount of like the
it's just
it's like Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes they're able to keep the guys on that roster because he restructured and
Yes.
he backloaded his contract.
Yes.
So, well, that also goes into another part of it. Like, the reason that I think this is why it's such a good move by the Niners is that they have a freaking squad, and let's say they get Fields, they could compete right away, and they have him for 4 years on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
And you win on Russell Wilson. You win on rookie contracts.
Yeah, you do. Unless your last name is Brady.
Okay.
Or Manning.
Stop bringing up Brady.
No, I'm not bringing up Brady. I'm just saying
I know.
There's been no other players to win on their secondary contracts in the last 20 years.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it's extremely difficult.
So it's like NFL is so different from real world where it's like you work your way up to get to where you are. But in the NFL, in the situation right now with the Niners, you're going to be in the best situation of your career possibly on your first 4 years.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know what's ironic? So, I mean, it's not ironic. It's just crazy to think about. So quarterbacks that get drafted in the top 10, there's like a 50-50 per, like if they're going to succeed or not. Like if they make a Pro Bowl, or I forget what the stat is. It's like 50-50. It's a coin flip,
Yeah.
If that quarterback's a bust or not, right?
Yeah.
So in this draft, 2 guys, maybe 3 of those 5 are most likely going to be busts, or not, but not live up to their draft position. And it's crazy because the best talents get drafted the highest, but they usually go to the worst teams. And that can ruin guys' careers, their confidence. They go into a losing situation, a losing culture. This is kind of like rarefied air we're in, that one of these guys is going to go to the the 49ers, who were in the Super Bowl a year and a half ago. Like, that's whoever Kyle picks is going to be successful. And if I'm any one of those quarterbacks, I want to go to the Niners.
Definitely.
Because, granted, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you to succeed, but you have a lot of help, And I think it's, it's one of the biggest trades in our lifetime, I think. That's the biggest trade I've ever witnessed the Niners make. So I think it's going to be Justin Fields. I think a lot of, holes in the logic of why Fields is not good. PFF, you know how they were saying he was like a one-read quarterback? You know? You heard that a lot?
Yeah.
Well, PFF actually had him graded as the number 1 quarterback in this class.
I know.
In second to third read. Like, God, it's like, with sports, it's like just gossip. Like there's no validity behind these statements.
People see
rumors. They just spread rumors.
People see what they want to see, man.
Oh, coward! Shout out. People see what they want to see. It's true.
There's a UFO out there.
It's an airplane.
Sorry, it's a UFO.
Anyways,
yeah, man.
Go check out Coward's show today. Sorry for the inside jokes, people.
Yeah, it's a.
Anyways, I think it's gonna be Fields. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've flip-flopped, right? So I said Trey Lance from the start because I'm a gambling man. I like taking the high risk. But at the end of the day, man, this is a team that's ready to win, and I don't think you're going to get a better opportunity to do that with the number 3 pick than Justin Fields. Like, there's just no better situation, right? I might even prefer it over Zach Wilson. So
I would rather have Fields. I like his pedigree and who he's played.
It just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I completely agree.
I also like Nick Bosa went to school there. There's the star power connection there on the offense and defensive side. Which is cool.
Yeah, I really like everything about Justin Fields. I don't see all these I didn't know Mac Jones had a DUI, and I go to this school. Like, that was crazy to me. I'm like, that was totally swept under the rug. I was like, he has very good character. They've analyzed him on that, and they were critiquing his throwing, and it's just not true. And I see the biggest upside with Justin Fields, and every one of these guys has flaws in their game. I don't even think Mac Jones is that safe. Like, people are acting like he's a shoo-in to be Matt Ryan. Like, Matt Ryan is like a top 10 quarterback at points in his career. You don't know for a fact that he's going to become Matt Ryan,
No.
Like, there's no certainties. So why don't you take the big swing? Why don't you take the guy with the highest upside, So.
In a comment from G. Russ, Grayson's here watching. He says, players want to come to the 49ers. How times have changed. What's going on, Grayson? Thanks for watching today.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
there was like...
No, you bring up a good point, though, Dean.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is not a shoo-in to be Matt Ryan.
But people are acting like that. It's kind of like... And I like Mac Jones a lot. It's like people are just creating these narratives to fit their biases. And it's just like, bro, you're kind of crazy. Like, all these people are going to be eating their words, man, when... You know what Haberman and Middlecoff said? They're like, if the Niners don't pick Mac Jones, can you ever trust these guys like saying, oh, it's totally going to be this person, like all these NFL now? I don't think I can. Like, I've never seen someone like pushed as a pick so hard that's like not a first round pick. That's like, oh, the Niners are 100% going to pick Mac Jones. Like, do you remember a time where there was such a certainty of, like, a quarterback that wasn't number one overall that they're like, oh, they're totally going to pick this guy, I thought it's been kind of madness. But,
no,
anyways, it was a little
Jack,
rant.
can you pour it out? No, I don't remember a time, Dean. I mean, the Trevor Lawrence is a different comparison, right? Because he's going first.
Not a number one overall court. Not like Andrew Luck. Not like,
Yeah, I personally think it's coming from biased people who, when someone tells you like, oh, I think you should do this, like that's going to be good.
Help themselves.
That's going to be good for you. That's the best situation for you. You've always done this. And it's just like, they expect you to just stay complacent, right? If Shanahan picks Mac Jones, that means that he's not looking to improve. Because he already has a very good player that's similar to Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's just... In the NFL, you have to adapt or you're not going to succeed. And they're all assuming that Kyle Shanahan, who every week changes his playbook, is not going to adapt after witnessing mobile, like, strong athletes destroy him in the biggest games of his career. Think that he's not going to adapt, and he's been in the NFL for a long time, his dad, Mike Shanahan, legends. I think it's a huge assumption that no, they don't think he's going to adapt and pick a different type of quarterback.
It's not even that they don't think he's going to adapt. I feel like it's more so they don't want him to. Because people don't like change, man. Shanahan is one of the most gifted minds in the sport, but he's just fallen short twice now.
Well, can you imagine? The best publicity for, like, news people is bad, right?
Yeah.
Bad stories, like car wrecks,
yeah,
terrible. Imagine all the stuff that they have content for if the Niners pick Mac Jones. If the Niners pick Justin Fields, they're going to be like, oh, the league better watch out. They're going to be good. That's all they're going to say, Now, if they pick Mac Jones, they're going to be like, could this be it for Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco? Do you think he's worn out his welcome? Do you think he'll ever get a chance to make it back to the Super Bowl? What if he loses another Super Bowl? What happens then? Like, you could say I respect it because, like, when the Rams made their move to pick Stafford, I was like, at least they're swinging for the fences. Like, I am cool if you just go all out to win. I respected that move by the Rams. Now the Niners, I want them to take a big swing. I want the guy with the biggest upside. He has the lowest floor of a supposed top 10 quarterback. I think. Do you remember a top 10 quarterback that has a lower? Sorry, not a low ceiling.
You said low floor.
Low ceiling. I know. I messed it up. Do you remember a quarterback in the top 10 that had a lower ceiling than Mac? Because Josh Rosen was picked outside of the top 10. So Darnold, I don't remember
maybe
the last
Jared
time.
Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff was his value got blown up because there were no other quarterbacks in that draft, and the Bears switched to air raid, and it inflated all of his stats. But
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't happen that often. You're right. I would say Jared Goff, but like going into it, we thought he had a higher upside, So I don't know. But
yeah, it's.
I just think and people acting like they're all sketchy. It's a 50-50 shot. Like they're acting like Mac Jones is going to be a Pro Bowler, basically.
So there's 5 quarterbacks that are going in the top 10, presumably, right?
Definitely 4. I could see Mac Jones falling out of the top 10.
So did you see
probably not though?
Did you see the recent news with the Patriots
that they're going to move to 10 and pick him? Yeah.
So do you think the Patriots are going to select Mac Jones?
That's Belichick. That's a Bill Belichick quarterback. Like, I don't know, man. You know what's really interesting? Excuse me. What if the Niners pick Fields? They're gonna. What if they trade him during the draft, during the first or second round, to New England? What if they trade him?
Who?
And if the Niners trade the Patriots to get it for a second round pick, like after they pick if they pick Justin Fields or Trey Lance, why if they pick Justin Fields, why would they keep Jimmy Garoppolo? You know what I mean? If they pick Trey Lance, now that's the difference between these 3 guys. So if you get Mac Jones, you could sit him or start him. If you get Justin Fields, I feel like you have to start him from day one. Trey Lance is a sitter. Trey Lance is going to sit for a year. So if they pick Justin Fields, don't you think that maybe even during the draft, they would trade Jimmy Garoppolo and possibly to New England?
Yeah, it's interesting from the New England perspective, right? Because we've heard a lot of rumors about how Bill Belichick has been at various pro days from different quarterbacks that are being drafted in the first round. But yeah, I do think there's a chance that the Niners end up trading Jimmy over to the Patriots after they select a player like Fields, because where's the market for Jimmy? I mean, if you think about it, there's only like maybe 2 teams, maybe 3 teams that might have a little interest in him, and it's all about supply and demand, right?
I think they could get a second rounder. I think
they're not getting a first.
No, but you know what you say? You're like, you put it here so that someone meets you at a lower price but higher, right? If you say, okay, if you're selling a car for,
no, I know what you mean.
$8,000 out of a car, you're not going to say I'm selling this for $8,000 because someone's going to talk you down immediately. You say I want $10,000.
Yeah.
So then they bring it at 8. So
is that called bartering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think to move up to 10. That's completely against Bill. Again, maybe Bill will adapt, but Bill doesn't like trading up. Bill doesn't like trading assets, draft assets. So do you really think it is a huge year for him. But do you think, even moving from, 12 to 10, I think he'd have to give up a first-round pick to do that, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
So will Bill do that? I don't know. Maybe he will. But I think it's really interesting if the Niners pick Justin Fields. man, Jimmy could be on the move. Like, during the draft, because people are going to start like, oh, wait, maybe if they pick Justin Fields, I don't think that Jimmy's going to be on their team by the end of that day. I think he's going to get traded. I think he's gone. If it's Justin Fields, not Trey Lance or Mac Jones. But
that's a good point.
I do think Cam showed us a lot. He came back. He's working, but I don't think he's too inaccurate, and he doesn't have the mobility anymore. Like he could blow up the line and run 5 yards, right, and get a touchdown. But Cam has always had problems with his throwing mechanics.
Yeah.
He was just able to overcompensate for them through his athleticism. So the Patriots are a wild card.
No, they are. Anything else we want to go over?
No, we could jump into the NFC West stuff.
NFC West?
Well, just the signings. I think they're kind of in.
Yeah, so the Arizona Cardinals went out and got a running back. They needed
James
one.
Conner.
James Conner.
Steeler.
James Conner, 6'1". Had a good year a couple years ago. He's kind of struggled with injuries in the last season or so.
He's been banged up a little bit. He signed a 1 year, so he's banking on himself to get paid when the cap moves back up. He's one of those players, and I think that's risky as hell at running back. Like, what if he gets hurt?
Yeah.
But so the cap dropped this year, because of COVID. The cap's going to go up like twofold. Like, I think it goes up to 245 or 250, and it's at 185 this year. So it's going to be. My numbers might be off. I think it's 185 this year though. But
well, James Conner's net worth right now is $3 million. He signed a $1.75 million contract.
1 year. That's the 1 year.
So he's really banking on
to produce on himself.
And I hope he does. Honestly, man, I think he deserves it. He's been a good running back.
He's really like.
I respect
He's really like at the casino playing. He's like rolling the ball, man. That's at running back, man. Running backs get beat up, and I don't even think he'll have. Do you think he'll be in he'll be in a timeshare with Chase Edmonds, right? Probably 60-40, because they love Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, I think 60-40 sounds about right.
I think Connor will get the majority, obviously, but.
I mean, in 2018, he's posted numbers. 215 rushing yards on that season where Le'Veon was out. 215 rushing attempts for 973 yards and 12 touchdowns. He also notched 4 total receiving touchdowns in his three seasons starting as a running back for Pittsburgh. I think Kyler Murray can really utilize his ability to catch the football. That's something that he hasn't really had.
No, man, Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, but James Conner's another level.
I think Chase Edmonds is like one of the best, like, scat backs in the league, like receiving. Chase Edmonds is like one of the best receiving backs in the league. I think James Conner does. He's also big, I guess. He could do both.
Yeah,
is that what you mean?
Yeah. That's
like Chase Edmonds is kind of one-dimensional in that he's too small. You can't It's kind of like Raheem Mostert. You don't want to keep running, and it's way more with Chase Edmonds. You can't keep running a guy that's that light, through the tackles all day, right? So
where do you see James Conner's fantasy football value? Just quick preview
RB2.
here.
RB2. I can't trust. I think Chase Edmonds is going to take a lot of third down work and maybe even goal line. I don't. They could get if it's inches. Obviously, James Conner's in, but I don't know, man. Kyler likes throwing those little slants and outs to running backs, so I don't know. I think Chase Edmonds is going to be a thorn in the James Conner owner's butt the entire season. That's what I think.
That's a good way to put it.
But I would try and pick up Chase Edmonds in the later rounds just in case James Conner does get hurt with his extensive injury history. And we've seen Chase Edmonds be one of the best handcuffs in the league, and he'd be behind James Conner, who is injury prone.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray, just to switch points here, I think he can't really have any more excuses, right?
This is like make or break. That's another thing. This is like for Cliff too, Cliff Kingsbury. If they don't make the playoffs this year, there's going to be a lot of scrutiny on both of them. Because Kyler, when they were still in the running for the wild card, he had a couple really, really poor games,
He started off on fire, and then ever since he got that shoulder injury in week 13 or something like that against the Seahawks, he really started to show some slowing down and some difficulty.
I am a little worried about him because, everyone compares him to Russ. Dude, he's a lot lighter than Russ. Russ is robust.
Russ is 6 foot.
But he's built. Like, Russ is thick, man. Like, he's strong. Kyler's small out there. Like, Kyler should really be careful about slot. Like, he's got to be careful because he's a small dude, man. If he get one good hit on him, you saw it with that shoulder injury. He has to really watch out. And I think Russ can take more hits than him because Russ is bigger than him, he's got to be careful,
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting with the Cardinals.
I think it's crazy. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
I just think it's nuts how the Rams, they went out and got Matt Stafford. He's their guy. There's high expectations. He's got to win this year.
McVay too.
McVay, and then Arizona. They're going out and signing all these guys. They got J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
So Arizona is putting their chips in. Rams are putting their chips in. The Seahawks had all this drama with Russell Wilson. Is he going to go to Chicago? Is it going to be the Raiders? No. We're going to go and get offensive linemen. You got to let your play do the talking now. We're going to protect you.
The Seahawks also, by the way, had a signing. They got Aldon Smith, who revitalized his career, with the Dallas Cowboys. So
yeah, he had 93 pressures or something like that last season.
Yeah, with the team that's really struggled to get a good pass rush on the last couple of years. I thought he was actually a big signing.
No, he surprised me. He was low-key. That was pretty good. But they went out and got the offensive lineman that Russ needed. So we'll see how that works. But they're not just giving up on this season, right? And then
Pete Carroll's kind of on the hot seat because he may have pushed Russ out of Seattle. Like, see, he might be done. Like, it's wild, man. The NFC West is.
And then the Niners, they went out and they traded 3 future first-round picks, including the one that they had this season, to get the 3rd overall draft pick and potentially draft
to replace the quarterback that they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
with.
so it's just absolutely nuts. There's not a single team in the NFC West where there's a defined, like, okay, this is the worst team, right? Like, we just got to let it play out, It's never been like that. There's usually, like, before the season starts, you're like, oh, well, these guys were terrible last year. They're not going to really be much this next year. All 4 teams in the NFC West are putting all their chips out in the middle and saying we're going to be the dog. And I just think
what was the team? Was it the AFC North that had 3 teams in last year? Right? It was
they had the Browns, Steelers, and Ravens.
I think the Niners are going to have the one with. I mean, the NFC West is going to have the 3 team this year.
No doubt.
They're going to cannibalize each other. Like, it's going to be 1-1. The Niners have the Rams number, but the Rams got Stafford. The Rams have Seattle's number. Seattle got a little bit better. The Cardinals and the Niners kind of split. And, there's just so many storylines in the NFC West. And I feel like a lot of the coaches are really, really good, but a lot of the coaches are on potential hot seats because the expectations are so high. Like, it's wild. It's all year long. I could see it being the most talked about division,
Oh, no doubt, dude.
It's a lot of talent. who's the guy that runs? I'm blanking on his name. He has his own show. He does the NFL scout. He runs. Rich Eisen. You know him?
Yeah.
He was talking. He had McVay on his show, and they were talking about, man, it must be fun with all those matchups in the NFC West. He's like, I don't look forward to those 6 games. It may be fun for you guys. McVay's like, I don't have fun being in this division. I thought that was really funny.
Well, it's nuts, dude. It's like, you know how usually there's like in a normal division and just in sports, there's order. There's the team that's the best going into the season. There's a team that you say, hey, the Dodgers and the Padres, those are the 2 best teams in the NL West.
And there's at least like one bad team in each division.
And then you're like the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. Those 2 teams are just stinky. They suck.
Yeah.
The Sacramento Kings have done that for the Pacific Division for how many years? So it's
basically since they lost that at Western Conference Finals to the Lakers.
So there's absolutely no order. It's just ultimate chaos, and there's just 4 teams that are just gonna do everything that they can to will their way. And it's just, I think it's awesome, man. I think it's amazing for the sport, and I don't think we've been this excited about the NFC West in a long time.
Yeah, it's just like, it's such a flip. Like in the it's just, you have 6 dogfight games that each team has to play, and they all know you very well because they've been playing against you forever, and they're all talented. It's just, I'm gonna watch probably every divisional game for every team. Like I'm down for every divisional game. I'm gonna watch Seahawks. I'm gonna watch all of them because they're gonna be insane. God, so many questions on all these coaches and QBs. Yeah, so
hey,
stoked.
So let's just do a quick preview because I'm interested. Let's say the Niners take Justin Fields with the 3rd overall pick. They trade Jimmy Garoppolo, and let's say they get a 2nd round pick, and whatever they do with that, I'm not going to get into that far. But we know Justin Fields is the quarterback, and he's starting game 1. How do you rank the rest of the teams in the NFC West after that news?
Well, I have to see Justin Fields, but I think he's going to, maybe not Lamar Jackson, but I think Justin Fields with his athleticism and with Kyle. Granted, his playbook is really difficult, so it's going to take him a little bit. I think we're going to see flashes of greatness from the start. I don't think he'll be consistent, but with Ayuk and Debo and all those, Raheem's going to be out there, and Kittle, like I expect him to come out and put the league on notice in the first game. So I got to give it to the Rams because Stafford is proven. Stafford, granted, not a winner, but I trust Stafford. Out of all these, quarterbacks, I mean, I trust Russ the most, but I don't trust Russ's team. The Rams are the most well-rounded team. That's what I think. So I think the Rams are 1. Oh man,
I know, right?
It's tough because I don't trust Seattle's, and I trust Russ the most, but I don't trust Seattle's team. Even with Alon Smith, they're missing. That's only 1 defender, and I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. I just think the Niners have a great team, and I think Justin Fields, granted he's the rookie, going to be a rookie quarterback if it's him. I think I'd have to put the Niners 2nd. I mean, maybe that's me being a little biased. And then I would put the Seahawks, and then I would put the Cardinals. The Cardinals have not won anything, and they should have made the playoffs last year. And it was a big deal to me seeing them kind of collapse at the end of the season, because they were in the wild card, and then they faded out. As you said, granted, with Kyler's injury, but Cliff Kingsbury is not a winner. He didn't win in college, so I need to see Cliff Kingsbury win some games, right? McVay, Pete Carroll, and Shanahan have won games in the NFL. Cliff Kingsbury has not had like a giant winning season yet, So
Yeah, it's
I would
just,
have to. So I'd go Rams, Niners, Seahawks, and Cardinals. And the Seahawks and the Niners can flip. It depends on how good Justin Fields is.
I'm gonna
If it's
say
him.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals.
What? What's okay? Well, now you got to answer for that. Wait, what's the problem with the Rams? You can't be. You gotta take our biases out of this. I took my bias out of it.
I might flip that actually.
You can't have the Rams. Rams are number one. I can't not have the Rams.
I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna go Niners. I guess the same as you, Niners. Or no, I'm gonna put Niners at first. Niners, Rams,
right.
Seahawks.
Putting the Rams
Cardinals.
third is just insulting. There's no way.
I mean, it's a tough division, man, and I just think the quarterback play from Russell Wilson is better than what you're gonna get from Matt Stafford. I trust Russell Wilson. Look what he did last year with a crap team. Took them to 12 wins.
I know, but their defense is terrible.
I know, but they still got 12 wins last year with that team.
I think the Niners, if they pick Fields, it's going to be an upgrade at quarterback. Stafford is a major upgrade over Goff. The Seahawks aren't going to be able to beat the Rams with Stafford. Like, I don't think they're going to do that. Oh, by the way, a little news. I told you about Aaron Donald's altercation at the bar.
Hey, Dean, turn a light on, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. The sun went down. Oh, hold on.
No, you're good.
Oh.
I just noticed it started to get dim in there.
No, I know. Good call. I just noticed. Hold on. Okay. There we go. Hello. No, that was good. It got hella dark there. So we talked about. Shut up. We talked about. So Aaron Donald. I told you about the bar fight. You saw that? Or?
Yeah. Aaron Donald got. Is he a warrant for his arrest?
No. So let me give you a little background. So, Monday morning at like 3 or 4 in the morning, he's so he's from Pittsburgh. He was visiting his hometown. In the bar, he got into like a little shoving match a little bit with a guy, and then so new news has come forward. So sorry, some guy Tuesday openly went to the press with a lawyer and said, "I'm suing him," and he showed this giant shiner. Like he'd been punched in the face. And he said, Aaron Donald did this to me, essentially. And now there's video that came out today and witness testimony that that guy was totally intoxicated. The guy that said that got punched in the face. And him and Aaron Donald in the club, like, when you brush shoulders with someone in the club, like hard, and it's like, what was that, right?
Yeah.
So supposedly, through witness testimony, that guy had nothing came of it, but he waited out in the alley for Aaron Donald with a bottle, like a champagne bottle or something. And he came at Aaron Donald when Aaron Donald came out of the club. He hit Aaron Donald, and then his friends started beating the crap out of him, like Aaron Donald's buddies. And then Aaron Donald actually pulled people off of him. And there's video proof of that. So through a lot of witness testimony, he looks like he's fine. It looks like Aaron Donald actually like saved him from getting hurt even worse, and then he goes out and says the next day, "I'm suing Aaron Donald." So it's just.
Yeah, I think.
Anyways.
I mean, man, I can't imagine being in a club and getting in an altercation with Aaron Donald. That's just nuts.
I think in the entire NFL, he's the last person I would ever want to be in a fight with. Like he is jacked beyond jacked. Like,
I mean, he's the one guy in the NFL where they literally have to put 2 guys on him on the offensive line.
Has anyone ever dominated? Not as a defensive lineman, but he's in the interior. He's taking on double and triple teams. Has anyone done that? Like.
I mean, we saw it kind of maybe a little bit from Ndamukong Suh in the early part of his career, but not to this level.
Not like Aaron Donald.
Not to this level. And then it just, I feel like, and I know it's on the outside, but his pressure that he generates, it's like immediately, you draw a comparison to Taylor.
Yeah, so LT, some people think, is the greatest football player ever. I'm in that club. I do. But LT was doing his work from the outside. That's why Aaron Donald is so nuts. Because LT, man, LT was a freak athlete, and tackles used to be much slower, and they had to start getting athletes at tackle because of guys like Lawrence Taylor, right? Lawrence Taylor was beating them like they stole something, right? So then you get Trent Williams type guys. You need quick moving, fast tackles. So I think what Aaron Donald does in double and triple teams, and I've seen many YouTube videos and highlights of him shoving over the double team, knocking both of them over. And he does it because he has leverage because he's 6'1" or 6'2", and he's just so strong. It's just, Aaron Donald talks a lot of crap about the Niners, but I respect his talent. He's one of, when he's done playing, he might be in top 10 defensive players ever that played football, actually. So,
no doubt.
So Aaron Donald it looks like he has evidence he'll be fine. So he's not going to get sued and stuff, it might go to court, but from the video that I watched, he was pulling guys off of him. So they have video. So I think he's fine. So he's not going to miss games, I don't think.
All right, switching pace here. That was a good talk about the NFC West, different altercations taking place, draft picks.
Yeah. Oh, draft, by the way, draft 2 days, 13 days out. So
stoked. We'll be doing our
we'll be doing it the Friday after.
We'll be doing our Friday after, and definitely a fun time to be a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
Let's talk NBA. Steph Curry's been on quite the tear recently. He's averaging, 34?
39.
39 now. Okay.
In his last 9 games, he's averaging 39 points. 1 second. I got to get my phone. 1 second. I have a stat. Hold on.
All right, buddy. There's no dead air here. I'll just chill out.
I saw this on SportsCenter, and I just thought it was so nuts. I had to take a screenshot of it. Our Warriors talk. Okay, listen to this. So, most consecutive 30-point games, ages 33 and older in NBA history. Michael Jordan did it twice. He had 7 30-point games when he was over 33 or older. Steph has 9. The only person that has had more 30-point games, 33 or older, is Kobe with 10. So Steph, in his next game, if he scores 30 again, he'll be tied with Kobe for the most points scored by someone that old, consecutively, games.
Wow.
Doing what he's doing at 33 just shows his game is going to age like a fine wine, man. He's the shooters, And I honestly think Steph, with this revolution, I thought about this, so I wanted to bring it up with you. I think guys are going to be useful later in their careers because they're more focused on shooting now. They're going to be able to play longer. They're going to be able to play past their athletic primes because they can shoot. There's going to be more guys like, Jason Kidd and Ray Allen who became 3-point specialists, at the end of their careers. I think guys are going to be able to have value later in their careers now because Steph kind of revolutionized that, it isn't a bunch of freak athletes out there. I mean, it is. It's the NBA. They have the most freak athletes, but the guys are focusing more on their skills now, I think. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think you bring up a good point. There's a lot to unpack there, though. Just getting into what you said about Steph Curry being right there neck and neck with Kobe. That's something to admire.
It's insane.
That's incredible. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest touch of basketball, so that puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned how players are going to be lasting a lot longer, and that's something that I kind of didn't really think about, but you're right. Yeah, a lot of the players that hung around for a while, like Ray Allen, Steve Nash, not as much because he was dealing with injuries, but Jason Kidd, uh, and they were able to be effective and win championships. It's not just those are players that had long careers. They were able to be meaningful. Ray Allen had one of the biggest shots in his career, definitely the biggest shot of his career, outside of his prime, way past his prime.
And Jason Kidd won his ring when he adapted like Carmelo. He essentially became a spot up 3-point shooter, and he was
he would dish it. He would dish it.
Yeah, but I mean, he wasn't running the offense on that Mavs team that won in 2011, right?
No.
He was kind of one of the unsung heroes. He hit some big threes in that series against the Heat.
Yeah, who's that other guy, the Spanish guy on that team?
Spanish guy. JJ Barea?
Yeah. He was huge.
Yeah. I think it's going to help guys' careers that they're focusing more on shooting now.
No, he's Puerto Rican, my bad.
South American, yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Islander. No worries.
Yeah, so
I just think it's something to think about. It's interesting.
Steph Curry, nice thought-provoking right there, Dean. So Steph Curry, while he's averaging 39 points and he's in conversations with being close to Kobe Bryant,
yeah,
not a single mention about being in the MVP race. He's second in the league right now for scoring.
Today I heard a little bit. Some people were
okay. Finally, there's people.
He's in people's top 10s again. He fell out of the top 10 when he was hurt. But
I think it's crazy how LeBron can miss all these games and still be the fourth favorite to win MVP. I just think that's ridiculous. Why should a player that misses a third of the
narrative.
season?
It's narrative based, and voters are trying to give him one because he hasn't gotten one in a while. But there's been a lot of years when he should have won and he didn't get it. So he's not going to win it if he misses what he's going to miss, and he's going to miss another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Oh, by the way, AD's back.
How can he miss? How can he miss another 3 weeks? The playoffs are starting soon, right?
When
does the playoffs start?
I don't know, but a week and a half ago, they said his timetable is 5 weeks, man.
So, you know what it is, Dean? The season started later.
Yeah.
I'm used to the playoffs being started about now.
Yeah.
The playoffs start in May.
Mm-hmm.
But
Anthony Davis is probably going to be back for this upcoming Jazz mini-series on Saturday and Monday. I read that he's going to have a 15-minute playing cap, so they're really going to ease him back in. But they're going to need him to play just to stay like in the top 5 seeds.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
He's coming back early. Let's hope he's healthy. Stays healthy.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
No, that's about it. I'm pretty.
Grayson says he's a LeBron fantasy owner, so this hits home. He's expected to come back in 1 to 2 weeks. IIRC.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Grayson. Yeah, so the one thing is I don't think they're going to rush him back, and I think they want to give him. They're trying to give Braun rest time. I don't think they want to push him. So 1 to 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like right now in the NBA season, it's like I'm just waiting for the playoffs to start. Even though I'm enjoying Steph Curry, if Steph Curry wasn't putting on this kind of show right now, and I don't know, I feel like I'd just be waiting for the regular season to finish up because we all know, what's looming and what's to be had.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I like and I dislike about the NBA because it's like there's these two top dogs, the Nets and the Lakers, and it's like everyone's expecting them to play, which they probably will. I know a lot
Yeah,
of people are doubting the Nets. They have a tough road to pass through the Bucks and the Sixers, but they'll be able to do it.
yeah.
And I know people compare. They say, well, the only other team that have such low defensive efficiency and still win a title was the '01 Lakers. And they're like, well, that team had prime Shaq and they had Kobe, but this team's got Kevin Durant, Harden, and Irving. Those guys aren't slouches.
I think the Nets are going to win. It's kind of.
I, I,
I agree with you.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like one of those things where, and it's something that I realize happens more and more in sports. It's like the Justin Fields and Mac Jones thing. Like people are starting to say Mac Jones, and I'm just like, wait, that doesn't really make sense, right?
Yeah.
I feel like in a couple weeks we're gonna find out whether or not that's true or not, and it's like, it's almost like the media creates these question marks to give these kinds of events more watch value. Because like if there weren't these question marks, what would be the point? We'd all know it's like, oh, that's a shoe in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're always trying to make stories to sell. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Just my thought.
No, I like it. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Well, is there anything else really that you'd like to get into here, or do you feel like that was
that's about it. I think that was pretty solid. I think we rounded all the bases there.
All right. Well, I had a pretty good Jersey Friday with you, Dean. And if you guys are watching and wearing your jerseys with us, shout outs to you.
Yeah, check out the Padres-Dodgers tonight.
Padres-Dodgers tonight. Big game.
Big game.
All right. Well, take it easy, fam.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in with us, people.